Hey there! Come on. Hey there! I'm begging you. How'd you like to get power bombed?
Testing.
Nearly 3 years ago now, I did a video showcasing the many attires worn by my favorite wrestler, Scott Hall. Since then, I've contemplated and attempted a few more videos like it, but ended up stalling out early on for one reason or another. Well, I'm happy to announce that I've added a second video to the Attire Showcase family. So without further ado, let's look at the many different threads worn by Kevin Nash. In 1990, Nash would make his WCW debut as Steel, one half of the tag team Master Blasters, complete with an orange mohawk and black tights containing the word Blasters down the right leg. After the Master Blasters would disband, Nash would find himself performing as Oz, sporting bright green pants with silver zigzag designs and dark green boots containing the name Oz. The entrance attire, however, was the biggest star of the show, as we would see a green gown with a rubber mask appearing as an old man. A tall wizard-style hat would finish off the look. Vinnie Vegas would be Nash's longest-lived gimmick during his first WCW run, and we would see many different attires for this persona. Early on, he would wrestle mostly in dress attire, such as black slacks and white shirts. As time would pass, we would see more variety, including this pink and black attire, and eventually different variations of long black tights with designs on them. In 1993, Nash would debut for the World Wrestling Federation as Diesel, a bodyguard for Shawn Michaels. As time would pass, Diesel would start to wrestle matches where we would see early versions of what would become his signature look. Everything appears black, including leather pants with fringes down the side of each leg over a plain singlet. We also see a black glove, black wrist tape, and black boots. To top off this look, we would see Nash make his way to the ring sporting a black leather jacket, also containing fringe, with black Terminator-style shades. We would see this look continue into the Royal Rumble for 1994, where we would see the addition of black elbow pads. At WrestleMania 10, Diesel wouldn't wrestle a match, but would accompany Shawn Michaels to the ring during his match against Razor Ramon. Here we would see a silver and black getup, complete with a Diesel-branded singlet, as well as vest, and this chaps look that we wouldn't see much of. We would see this look frequently in 94, which is close to his 93 gear, with the addition of a silver Diesel logo across the front of the singlet. At the 1994 King of the Ring, we would see the words Big Daddy Cool appear on his top, with Diesel spelled out down the right pant leg. And this look would be commonly used during the remainder of 1994. 1995 would be a big year for new attires for Diesel, and at the Royal Rumble we would see silver stripes added to the outside of his pant legs, with a matching silver vest for his entrance. At WrestleMania 11, we see a new singlet now appearing in silver with the words Diesel Power spelled out across the front. We would also see this unique design down the sides of the pants with silver fringe. This pattern would also appear on Diesel's vest, with a cool design on the upper back portion and the Diesel logo at the bottom back. At 1995's King of the Ring, we would see a new singlet, this time just sporting the words Big Daddy on the front, but at a closer glance, we see this really 90s looking pattern featured here. We would see another unique pattern just weeks later, this time with Diesel Power being displayed in the front. And man, I need to point out how elaborate these vests are getting at this point. At the 1995 SummerSlam, we see this version of the Diesel Power singlet, but this time in black. In mid-1995, while teaming up with Shawn Michaels, we would see this Dudes with Attitudes singlet, which I believe is the only time we see blue as a focal point of any of Nash's attires. As 1995 would progress, we would see slight variations of recently used attires, like this one here, which is just slightly different from the one we saw back at SummerSlam, and we see this cool addition to Diesel's pants. At Survivor Series, we would see a silver Diesel branded singlet with black stripes down the sides. This would be accompanied by a silver elbow pad. And look at this. Did this lady have this made, or what? I mean, I want one. 1996 would be a short-lived year for Diesel in the WWF, and we would mostly see attires recycled here. We do, however, see a new version of the Diesel-branded pants at the Royal Rumble here. At In Your House 6, we see a silver Diesel power singlet with black pants featuring silver stripes down the sides. For WrestleMania, Diesel would sport this silver Big D top. Yes, Big D. Complete with black stripes on the sides, as well as black pants with less fringe than normal and more silver studs. For his last few WWF appearances, we wouldn't see anything new except for this extremely flashy vest at In Your House 7. Leaving the WWF meant losing the Diesel name and gimmick, so as Kevin Nash ventured back to WCW, we would once again see a new look for the big man. Kevin Nash's in-ring WCW return would take place at the 1996 Bash at the Beach. This would be the first time we see Nash sporting red and black, which would become a common color scheme during the remainder of his career. This all-red getup features black accents, including the outsiders on the front side of his singlet, as well as a black fringe and waistline stripes on his pants. Black boots finish off this look. We would see slight changes in the coming months, including the addition of outsiders spelled down Nash's right pant leg. At Halloween Havoc, we would see a new black attire with red and black fringe for the pants and vest, and the NWO letters in silver outlined with red for the singlet. For Starrcade, at the end of 1996, we see a combo of sorts with Nash wearing his red Outsiders top and black pants. This is a pairing we wouldn't see too much of during this time. At the beginning of 97, Nash would sport this attire, which now features his last name in an NWO-style font, as well as red stripes down the side. His pants here would also appear much more decorated with all sorts of studs and fringe. During this time, we would start to see less of Nash's vests during entrances and more NWO-branded t-shirts. Throughout the next few months, we see a combination of different attire pieces paired together to create different complete outfits. In fact, we wouldn't see an all-new attire for the remainder of 1997. Well, there was that Sting getup. But other than that, we see the same few selections repeated. In early 1998, we would see what I've dubbed the revenge attire. I don't know, it just reminds me of that game every time I see it. It's not much different from other attires we've seen, with silver and red used for lettering and stripes down the sides of the singlet. We would see this top paired with different pants, in addition to previous attires returning throughout the remainder of 1998. Oh, and here's one that I found on a trading card, which pairs this black top with his red pants, which I don't ever recall seeing on TV. I'm assuming this could possibly be a house show, but it's also quite possible that it's just an episode of Nitro that I either missed or just can't remember. Judging by his hair, though, it's definitely sometime in 1998. The first quarter of 99 would see no changes in gear for the big man until Great American Bash, where we see this Big Sexy attire with a bold red font on the singlet and red accents on black leather pants. At Bash at the Beach, we would see a Nash singlet with the same exact font, leading one to wonder, Was it a 2-for-1 deal at the seamstress? We also see this paired with black pants featuring red fringe. In 2000, Nash would sport much of the same attire we'd seen in the last few years, but by the end of the year, we would see a few new threads. In particular, this new Outsiders singlet, which is surprisingly only his second top to feature the name in his 4 years with the promotion by this time. He would also debut this mostly black attire with silver Nash lettering up top. This one is sort of reminiscent of his days as Diesel. Every so often during this time, Nash would bust out the old vest on his way to the ring, like this one here, which is also very Diesel-esque. Into 2001, we see one last new WCW attire for Big Sexy, featuring primarily black, with Nash displayed on the singlet in an almost Old English style font. In 2002, Nash would return to the WWF, sporting a black singlet with the NWO logo across the front. In fact, oddly enough, this would be the first time that Nash, and even Scott Hall in this instance, would sport an official NWO logo on any in-ring attire. Sure, they both had NWO lettering on their outfits in WCW, but never the actual logo. This would also mark the first time we see fringeless leather pants. Not a fringe in sight. After so many years with it, it seems strange to see him without it. It's like when you've known somebody to have a mustache for the last 10 years and then they just shave it. This would be the only in-ring attire we see for 2002, as the year was cut short due to injury. In 2003, we would see Nash return, sporting his old Big Daddy singlet, although he was not appearing here as Diesel. We also see plain black pants return here. Next, we would see this attire, featuring Nash, displayed in silver and black up top. It's rather small, but up close we get a good look, and I really like this lettering. At Bad Blood, we would see Nash sporting red accents once again, with the Big Daddy initials, BD, across the front of a black singlet, in front of a silver design. SummerSlam 2003 would be the last Nash appearance in WWE for quite some time, with the Big Daddy Diesel-style attire returning here. And I haven't mentioned Nash's appearance much, such as hair, physique, tan, and whatnot, but I have to point out that this look is really a drastic change from what we've known. Now, obviously, this was done for his role in the Punisher movie, but it was still a shocker to see live at the time. Nash would spend quite a few years in TNA, and while I don't have a good grasp on the timeline here, I will go over some of the attires we saw there. We would see two variations similar to the BD attire we saw at WWE Bad Blood from 2003, with these instead reading Nash, and featuring a black as well as a red attire, which would be his first all-red attire since the one he debuted at Bash at the Beach back in 1996. We would see some other brand new designs such as this one here, as well as a few previously used in WCW and WWE. In 2011, Nash would return to WWE at the Royal Rumble, reprising his role as Diesel, complete with attire to match, though the fringe does not return. While this would be a one-time deal, he would return for a more extended stint at the end of 2011, and in December he would make his in-ring return, sporting one of the attires commonly used during his TNA run. At TLC, we would get a brand new look with this fancy new singlet design. I say fancy because up to this point, it's safe to say Nash's designs have all been pretty simple. Here we see gold letters displaying Nash above this winged design that all comes together like a crest. It's actually quite intricate. Another top used during this run is one I can't find on TV anywhere, not on Raw or on any pay-per-view event, but I know that it was used at this house show event here, and also for at least one photo shoot, but that's really all I can find on it. And it's a shame because I actually really dig this design. His last in-ring WWE appearance would take place at the 2014 Royal Rumble, where we would see this attire one last time. While Nash would continue to wrestle in Japan and various independents until his retirement in 2018, we wouldn't see any new ring gear for the big man, putting an end to our journey here today. We spanned 3 different decades and a few promotions to take a look at just about everything Kevin Nash wore while performing in the ring. Do you have a favorite? If so, let me know in the comments section. I really want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. These are way time consuming and I'm not sure how many more I'll be able to make, but I would definitely like to do more in the future. I hope you guys are all doing well and I hope to see you guys back here for the next video.